strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you could possibly imagine.
Hey everybody, it's Bulldog here, and I'm going to do another video here regarding everything that's going on with all the bans and all of that. And there are two things I really want to address here. And the first one, and the main reason I'm making a second video, is regarding the bans that have resulted from the crystal fraud. And a lot of people are sending me examples of those and showing that CG is being hypocritical with how they hand out those bans. And using that as more evidence that CG plays favorites. And the second thing I want to talk about is just kind of going back and explaining more, trying to clarify from my first video, because as expected, there's a little bit of outrage about it. But I'm getting some people that are sending me things that are just not right. They don't reflect my actual feelings, and I don't know if they just didn't watch the video at all and are just criticizing me just because they feel like they have to defend Ahnald. And didn't actually watch the video, but if they did watch the video and I just wasn't clear, I want to clarify some things. So anyways, back to the first point, the crystal fraud. So for those of you who might not be aware, there's fraud out there with not just this game, but lots of different games where you can buy discounted crystals. You give them your login and password, pay them, okay, let's say you pay them $20 and then they go buy $200 worth of crystals for you. And you just get an insane amount, a deeply discounted amount of crystals. The exact discount and everything varies. It doesn't matter. But the point is that it's actually fraud. It's not just cheating in the game. It's actually related to essentially money laundering. And there are different variations on it, but it's actual criminal activity that and that's the reason that buying these third-party crystals is illegal. You should never give anybody your account info to have them log in, that type of thing. But recently there was a wave of bans regarding it, and there have been some people who have been permanently banned. There have been some people who have only been temporarily banned, and there's a lot of discrepancy on how long people are banned. And obviously right now there's a lot of stuff going on with that screenshot that I showed a few weeks ago that Ahnald kind of blew up, that where they negotiated with cheaters and gave somebody a shorter ban, and people are using the variation of the crystal bans to add on the top of that to say that people are getting different ban lengths. And there are a couple of reasons that people are getting different ban lengths, and I want to explain this because I talked to CG about it. I actually asked the same question regarding the different suspension lengths, and there was one thing that they told me that I feel is safe to share, is that there's a lot that goes into this, and it's not so. When you do like an APK ban, the one my original account got for showcasing that was a problem, it's supposed to be a permaban. Obviously, we saw in one case it wasn't, at least initially, but it's supposed to be a permaban, no questions asked. You use a hacked mod, and your account gets banned forever. It's not the case with the crystal fraud. It's not an instant permaban. It depends on the situation, and each one is is looked at on a case-by-case basis. And there are some reasons that people get bans longer than others. So if you had just started an account a few months ago and you spent what had seemed to be $10,000 on the account, maybe it was really only $1,000 or whatever, and pretty much the majority of the progress on your account came from this fraudulent crystals, that account's probably just getting banned and it's never coming back. There's basically no reason for them to let that one back in the game. Now, on the other hand, if you've been playing clean for 4 years and then Galactic Legends come and you hear one of your guildmates says, "Oh, look at this deal I got on the crystals, and I went to this person and I got $200 worth of crystals for $40, and now I got my Galactic Legends." And you said, okay, well, that must have been legit. They did it. So I'm going to go in and I buy the crystals. And then they catch you and you get banned. It's probably not going to be a perma-ban because you've been a good player for the most part, and you made one mistake. They're going to delete some of that from your account, maybe a month or two ban or something like that. But there's still been a lot of progress on your account that you've achieved naturally, and they don't necessarily feel like they need to permanently ban you. That giving you your punishment and then moving on, they're okay with that. And then there's another thing that comes into play, which people won't see, and that's probably what's going to create some of this controversy, is that again, this is a much bigger deal than just one simple account and whether they get to keep on playing or how long they're banned or anything like that. This is legit criminal activity that spans across not just this game but multiple games and can involve all sorts of other criminal activity as well. It can be a huge problem that encompasses a lot of different things. The person buying the discounted crystals is a small fish in this thing, and the ultimate goal is to catch the source, to stop it that way, maybe even cooperate and get somebody arrested, whatever the case may be. There are much bigger fish, and just like you see with other criminal investigations, that sometimes you give a reduced penalty to the small fish to try and help catch the bigger fish. So yes, there is some negotiating there because there are higher goals in mind. So with some of these crystal activities, yes, you're going to see different people get different punishments just because it's not a they don't have a chart where they say, okay, you've been playing the game for this many years, this percentage of your crystal income was real and this much of it was fraudulent, and we follow this line over here and that equals this many days ban. It's all a case by case basis where there is some personal there's some judgment involved, and it might not end up in the same person getting the same ban all the time. There's so many different factors going on. It's not they're not going around and just saying, oh well, this person's been a big spender in the past and we like them, so we're banning this. So at least I hope they're not, and there's no real evidence that they are. As you've seen, I made a video when there was evidence that in an APK situation they kind of gave somebody a reduced ban. I absolutely called them out for it, no doubt about it. And if there was any evidence that they were giving people reduced suspensions from these crystal frauds just because they liked them or because they felt that they were going to continue to spend more legit money if they gave them a shorter ban or anything like that, I would call them out on that. And if you have real legit evidence of that, then certainly send that my way, and I will do that. But I just want to make it clear that there are reasonable explanations for why there are different ban lengths for different people regarding these crystal frauds. And yeah, maybe CG is just blowing smoke with their answer, but it's actually something that makes sense and that I understand. So I'm not going to go calling them out on that. I don't want to just bash CG for everything. I mean, I certainly will bash them when I feel it's warranted. But I also, I mean, they don't do everything wrong. They're going to do some things right, and I'm not going to bash them when I feel that they're doing something right. So that's why I'm not calling them out over that. But going back to calling them out over the bans, the APK ban and the Ahnald account and all of that, it's. I don't know. I don't know if I didn't make myself clear or if people are just complaining because they like to complain. But I see those situations as two very different things. And people are kind of upset with me because you've been fighting against cheating and CG being kind of corrupt in some situations for a year now. And now that we've got everybody riled up, then why aren't you jumping on board? Why are you backing down now? And the answer is I'm not backing down now. I was absolutely upset about the ban that was originally, the screenshot shows when it was negotiated for 1 week. By the way, you may not have seen that mentioned. That did not end up being a 1 week ban. It ended up being a 5-month ban. And then when that 5-month ban was up, I called CG out for it, and they corrected it. And yeah, they only corrected it once they were called out on it. That's not the same as doing it right from the beginning. But they've done everything that I really could expect them to do from that result, from being called out on that. And one of the things in that initial video that I was basically complaining about is that they were giving people preferential treatment. So I can't be mad at banning Ahnald, because if they didn't ban him, that would be giving him preferential treatment. To me, this is progress. Banning Ahnald is progress because they are doing what they said before that they were going to do. They are, at least in this case, staying consistent. And if they're not consistent, I will absolutely call them out. I've already done that numerous times. But banning Ahnald is staying consistent. I don't understand the people that say that are upset about the screenshot and saying that you should treat everybody equally, and you don't give preferential treatment to whales or to your best friends or anything like that. And then on the other hand, getting mad at Ahnald's ban, saying that he should get preferential treatment, because those are in my opinion, those are in direct conflict with each other. That you can't be upset at both situations. Ahnald did a great job of using the one situation, which was actually months old and not even explaining all the way, but he generated outrage regarding that to get that outrage applied to his own situation, even though they are very different. I was outraged and still am outraged about the first situation, but like I said, they corrected it. They got that account banned. I've seen nothing moving forward that shows that they haven't progressed since then, and I'm not going to continue to destroy them for the same thing that I've already voiced my concern over those, and I don't feel like I need to continually repeat it over again, just because now's when people are getting outraged because a larger YouTuber showcased that and spread to everybody else. I've had my say about that. I don't feel the need to continue on. So there's nothing new that has popped up. Everything else that has happened since then has been exactly what I would want CG to do. So I'm not going to get mad at them again until they've shown that they haven't shown progress, or they continue to make the same mistakes or the same poor decisions over and over again. And maybe they still are, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. So I'm going to have to see more evidence before I generate this outrage again. That's how it goes. And I don't know if that's not clear or whatever. And if you don't agree with that, I'm okay with that. You all can form your own opinions and do whatever. And I actually really appreciate the people who leave their comments and they give how their opinion is different while still they can follow my logic. They understand why I have my opinion. And again, my opinion is going to be different than other people's opinion. But there are so many people messaging me and leaving comments and all sorts of things that show that either they don't understand my position, well, they clearly don't understand my position, but I don't know if I just wasn't clear or if they just didn't watch the video at all and just wanted to vent at me because it looked like I was not supporting Ahnald. He's got his main account. He's going to keep making videos. He's going to continue being a huge pillar in this community that's doing great things for this game. So he's not going anywhere. I don't know. He doesn't need me to defend him. That's for sure. So I don't hate him by any means. I will continue to support him. And again, I talked about in that first video how I understand why he didn't think he would get banned, and how in some ways it can look like they're targeting him, but in reality they're just doing the same thing they did to me, the same thing they've done to other people. And even though I'm not going to necessarily say I like it, I support the consistency, and I've got to accept that. I've accepted that and moved on my end, and he will on his end as well eventually. So, I don't know. I shouldn't put any words in his mouth or what's going on with him. But anyways, that's all I've got to say. I don't know. I hate making these videos. I'd rather be making gameplay videos. I've got so many things. I'm trying to build my own library of references on my Discord, and I'm got a whole long list that I need to get to. Hopefully this weekend I'll get some time to get out a bunch of videos and can get back to actually making gameplay videos, because that's what I want to do. I don't want to talk to you guys about this stuff. No offense to anybody who enjoys the drama, enjoys all that stuff. There's with no sports and all the other stuff that we don't have right now, we need some more sources of entertainment. So I get it. I get how people get caught up in this, absolutely. But that's not these. I love doing YouTube videos. I love doing all this stuff. This is not the type of videos that I love doing. It's just, I don't know, something that we got to do sometimes, and people tend to respond well to it. So I do need to continue to do more of these and explain my opinion. But oh well, that's it. That's all I've got. Huge thank you to all my supporters. You guys are awesome. Again, thank you to everybody who's having civil and logical discussions about the topic, even if you don't agree. We don't have to agree, but I would hope that everybody can at least see some reason and not just get outraged because you want to be outraged. I hate how that's a trend in not just this community, basically everywhere anymore, is people just like to be outraged and want to be outraged over something. So I encourage everybody to at least think logically and have goals for what you want to see done, how you want things to be done different, and at least try to have productive and logical outrage if you're going to go about it that way. So thanks a lot, everybody, and I will be seeing you more this weekend. Thanks.